Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name is Amy. I am an ordained minister, and we are in Bible study. We are in the NIV. We are in 1 Kings chapter 5. So let's jump in more on King Solomon's reign. Okay, so preparations for building the temple. When Hiram, Hiram, king of Tyre, Tyre, heard that Solomon had been anointed king to succeed his father David, he sent his envoys to Solomon because he had always been on friendly terms with David. Solomon sent back this message to Hiram. You know that because of the wars waged against my father David from all sides, he could not build a temple for the name of the Lord his God until the Lord put his enemies under his feet. But now the Lord my God has given me rest on every side, and there is no adversary or disaster. I intend, therefore, to build a temple for the name of the Lord my God, as the Lord told my father David when he said, your son whom I will put on the throne in your place will build the temple for my name. So give orders that cedars of Lebanon be cut for me. My men will work with yours, and I will pay you for your men whatever wages you set. You know that we have no one so skilled in felling timber as the Sidonians, or Sidonians, Sidonians, Sidonians. When Hiram heard Solomon's message, he was greatly pleased and said, praise be to the Lord today, for he has given David a wise son to rule over this great nation. So Hiram sent word to Solomon, I have received the message you sent me, and will do all you want in providing the cedar and pine logs. My men will haul them down from Lebanon to the sea, and I will float them in rafts by the sea to the place you specify. There I will separate them, and you can take them away. You are to grant my wish by providing food for my royal household. So this is what he wants in exchange. He goes, I don't want your money. I want food. Send me food. In this way, Hiram kept Solomon supplied with all the cedar and pine logs he wanted, and Solomon gave Hiram 20,000 cores, that's probably about 125,000 bushels, or 4,400 kiloliters of wheat as food for his household, in addition to 20,000 baths. That's got 2 footnotes, C and D. And the Septuagint, see also 2 Chronicles 2:10 in Hebrew, 20 cores, and D, that is about 115 gallons or 400 liters of pressed olive oil. So it's baths of olive oil. Think of it as vats. Similar equivalent. Solomon continued to do this for Hiram year after year. The Lord gave Solomon wisdom just as he promised him. There were peaceful relations between Hiram and Solomon, and the two of them made a treaty. King Solomon conscripted laborers from all Israel, 30,000 men. Conscripted, meaning they didn't get a choice, like the draft. He sent them off to Lebanon in shifts of 10,000 a month. So they spent 1 month in Lebanon and 2 months at home. Adoniram, Adoniram, was in charge of the forced labor. So that does mean slaves. He sent slaves to Lebanon. Solomon had 70,000 carriers and 80,000 stonecutters in the hills, as well as 3,300, we got a footnote of E, Hebrew, some of the Septuagint, so some of the Greek manuscripts, also 2 Chronicles 2:2, 3,600 instead of 3,300, foremen who supervised the project and directed the workmen. At the king's command, they removed They quarry large blocks of quality stone to provide a foundation of dressed stone for the temple. That's a good idea. Stone below ground, better than wood. Wood rots below ground. The craftsmen of Solomon and Hiram, and the men of Gabal, Gebal, it's got a footnote of F. Where'd you go? That is Byblos, Baybolos. That's another name for that town. Cut and prepared the timber and stone for the building of the temple. So construction of the temple begins. Now, I know some from some other research on Chabot.org, and it will come up some in here, that the design of the temple had begun well before this. David worked on the design of the temple, like the drawings, before it was time for building, before Solomon. And that's how he even had the preparations to get the timber, to know what to even ask for, what he was going to need to do anything. Because God was happy with David's inspiration, but wanted Solomon to do the building of. Because they hadn't finished all the conquering. Right? As I said, there was no peace. Couldn't focus on the temple. If you want to find out what happens in the continuing story of King Solomon and the construction of the Temple of Jerusalem, you're going to have to come back for the next video, friends.